Hello and welcome to News 9 Facebook Live with me, Adarsh Vepachedu. 45 days of back-channel diplomacy between India and Nepal will be put to test with the visit of Army Chief General Naravane to Kathmandu on the 4th of November for a 3-day visit. Now, this particular visit comes in the backdrop of the controversy over road construction via Lipu Lake for pilgrimage in Mansarovar in Tibet and the Kalapani map controversy. Despite not so good relations in the recent past, Nepal in all likelihood will roll out a red carpet for General Naravane for obvious reasons. Now, the KP Sharma Oli government wants to revive the Pancheshwar multi-purpose project on river Mahakali as well as other hydroelectric projects with India. Now, Nepal also seems to be clear in its ambitions. But when it comes to India, it may not really be so. Case in point, India's stand when it comes to the Kalapani map controversy. Nepal showed parts of Kalapani as its own, and India is willing to let it go as its internal matter. Well, truth be told, if your internal matters lead to Kalapani's inclusion in your map, it is no longer an internal matter. With so many factors playing an important role, how will India-Nepal relations pan out in the near future? What should be India's stand when it comes to the Kalapani issue? And how do we ensure Nepal doesn't go the China way? To discuss some of these very pertinent matters, we have with us Wing Commander Praful Bakshi joining us on the phone line. Many thanks, sir, for speaking to us. It's very clear what Nepal wants from India right now. And India, on the other hand, is willing to shake hands with Nepal and brushing aside the entire Kalapani matter. So what do you think should be India's stand vis-a-vis Nepal, especially when it comes to the Kalapani matter ahead of General Naravane's visit to the country?
Well, let me tell you one thing. This is not the first time that India and Nepal had had controversy on anything. We have been having it right from 50s and probably earlier than that.
True.
In fact, there have been a lot of other occasions where, by the way, this Kalapani episode has come up much earlier also. It's not only very recent phenomena. But the question is, our relationship with Nepal have been off and on from blowing hot and blowing cold. Way back in 50s, India used to have the Indian military mission in Nepal, which was objected to by China, and that mission was removed. I am talking of 1959-60.
Okay.
So you can imagine, and after that, of course, it was made Indian Military Training Advisory Group, IMTAG, and then finally removed in 70s. Question, what I'm just trying to tell you, that our foreign policy, we have been complacent about it as far as Nepal was concerned. The bureaucracy involved always took Nepal for granted. And that is why Nepal went to China way, and China has been making inroads into Nepal for a very long time.
True.
Not only, there are other countries also besides China who are trying for various other reasons. But we were directly interested in China because of the borders. And that is why then we did not handle the cases where there was a blockade, Madhesi problem from the Gorakhpur side. On the Nepal border. It was our mishandling. And there have been oppositions from their side also. But the question is, we could have handled it much better.
True.
And we, of course, gave them a lot of help. But when King Tribhuvan was in exile, we brought him back. We made the Tribhuvan Rajpath. But China was always interested in that area by suggestion of railway lines, roads, etc. And now China's policy has changed and Nepal is under pressure from China.
True, but Praful Bakshi Sahab, we're willing to shake hands with Nepal over this Kalapani matter. And how bizarre is a stand of ours that we're willing to, brush this under the carpet and say, okay, it's an internal matter, so, let's not get into it. Let's just put it aside and we shall focus on our relation first. Why is there such a very meager stand from the Indian side when it comes to the Kalapani issue?
Repeat your question. Why is it there such what stand?
In a sense, why aren't we more firm when it comes to Kalapani matter, and why is it our stand so meek, so to speak, and we are calling it their own internal matter, and we are saying it's okay, let us put it aside and let us get back to our maintaining good relations. Do you think that's the right kind of stand for India to be having right now?
That is what is our problem. We have always been, taking Nepal either for granted, or when the Nepal put a foot down, we would try to, look the other way around. This has costed us a lot. And the Kalapani issue at the moment may die down. There's no doubt about it. Because Nepal does not understand the Sagoli treaty of 1800s, and then where the borders of Kalapani, they want Lipu Lake and Lipu Dhara in their territory. So until and unless we sit down with Nepal and interact with Nepal more often, and then there should be more, you see, it is not only minister to minister. The track to diplomacy with Nepal must take over. There are a lot of retired officers who have settled in Nepal, a lot of retired force personnel in India. There are families intermarried. There are families in the royal clan who have been married to each other, and perhaps all the states of Rajasthan have somebody from Nepal in their family. So this sort of a diplomacy must take over. Also, we must pressurize. The social pressure should be there. The Rama temple, they say the Ram is born in Nepal.
Yeah.
Even that at the behest of China. They did it. So you can see that we have not played our card as we should have played down the years.
True.
No, I'm not talking of 5-10 years. I'm talking of last 50 to 60 years. We have always been. I personally was as a child in Nepal when the Indian military mission was closed.
Okay.
And I know it. When Chow En-lai came into Nepal, I, as a child, attended that big function which was held out there. And Chow En-lai was there, and Prime Minister Nehru was there. But yet, the question is, we have always been wanting in strong diplomacy, in astute and deep thinking diplomacy has never been there.
True. Wing Commander, how important is the road construction via Lipu Lake in Nepal for pilgrimage to Mansarovar in Tibet? And how proactive should we be on this front? And also, is the road connectivity to Mansarovar only limited to pilgrimage, or could it transcend beyond that as well?
You must understand, it is not only for pilgrimage. It is a great strategic value.
True.
And we should have done it much, much earlier. This is why I'm telling you that our thinking in the strategic matter, the strategic studies in India has been a weak subject. Our college boys, our students, etc., they don't understand what is the strategic studies. Our ministers don't understand. Our people don't understand. It is just an English word as far as we are concerned. Tactical and strategic, the two words they know, and there's nothing beyond that. That is what is the problem. So, Nepal is a very, very important location between India and China as a very strong buffer state. You would be surprised even Bhutan at one time was calling us the threat.
Correct.
So, what I'm trying to tell you, we have to change our line of thinking, we have to change our policies, and we have to make sure that our people are serious.
True.
By just putting a bureaucrat out there or diplomat out there doesn't do. He must understand the entire history and the studies. That is why this is a professional angle which is missing.
Wing Commander, sir, on ground, on paper at least, General M.M. Naravane's visit is expected to break the ice between India and Nepal. While this could be a new beginning of sorts, how important is maintaining good relations with countries like Nepal? You even mentioned Bhutan, given China's increasing influence in the region. And while we ensure that relations are maintained, we should also ensure that we are not missing out on a lot. How do we really strike a balance there?
You see, striking a balance will come later on. First thing, we must know what is our interest.
Okay.
And we must spell out our interests. And we should put it firmly across Nepal.
This is an opportunity, isn't it?
Without telling them, without even making them feel that we are violating their interests.
Right.
That is why we should think about the whole problem as a joint system, joint question, as a joint project. And this is where the maturity comes. This is where the talent comes. And that is why we have to do it. Because this is General Naravane's visit is a very, very important visit, especially when the things have gone down to such an extent that the government was openly saying that we will not grant him the honorary chief status, and we will not send the Gurkhas in Indian Army anymore. All those things were happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was coming to ultimate insult to India.
But in the latest, Nepal has said that they will accord the honorary chief status to Army Chief General M.M. Naravane.
Obviously, our diplomacy has saved the day, but we should not be caught like this.
Correct.
And we should anticipate what is going to happen next. Because China is not going to sit down. China is not going to let you even rest for a while. That's why I'm telling you, we can't sit down on our haunches and, you know, and smoke a peace pipe and think that all is hunky-dory.
True.
It is very, very serious, because if we don't, and mind you, Nepal's territory is also adjoining to Uttarakhand.
Correct.
The Kalapani is there, and the 100 villages were empty in Uttarakhand, with Chinese were started entering. So Chinese and Nepal were working together. This is where the problem is. So we have to be now, I'm sorry, our democracy, there is something more to it, the election and re-election. The interest of India doesn't mean elections and re-elections, where India seems to be using 85 to 90% of its time. We have to think of something else. And kindly, this is a very serious, I'm telling you this very seriously.
Okay.
I mean it.
Okay. So yes, indeed, bottom line really is it's time we rise above the politics of the country, the elections, as you rightly pointed out, and think about the country itself, our land itself, which seems to be slowly at threat at this point in time. Many thanks, Praful Bakshi Saab, for joining us and for sharing with us your insights on what's transpiring between India and Nepal at this point in time. Yes, it is an important visit that Army Chief General M.M. Naravane will be carrying out to the Himalayan nation on the 4th of November. It's a 3-day visit, and there will be quite a few demands from the Indian side, and it remains to be seen as to how Nepal will respond. And Nepal, on the other hand, also wants its own bunch of things. So yes, while it is a beginning in the right direction, we must ensure that a strategic heat is applied at the right places at the right time, so that Nepal does not become another China. With that, it's a wrap on this brief interaction. If you've liked the information that we've shared with you, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to News 9 on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Many thanks for joining us.